everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you just so happen to be joining me for the very first time, thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Donella, and of course this is my world of beauty here on YouTube. All right, so this is going to be a very quick and in-depth tutorial basically regarding how I filling my eyebrows currently. I'm using two new products, the Benefit Cosmetics Kabrow, which is a gel based eyebrow product, and I'm also currently using the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. Okay, so in some instances I'm wondering if this is really an updated eyebrow tutorial or this is just something where I'm taking some things out and putting some things in. I don't know. You guys, y'all can determine at the end of this video. So if you are interested in seeing how I am currently doing my eyebrows, maybe you can take some, maybe I can offer some tips, or maybe you can actually update your current eyebrow tutorial. If you're interested in seeing that, then please stay tuned. Okay, so first things first, I love to have my skin moisturized. Add my serums, my moisturizer, my sunscreen, especially if it's a daytime look. I always add sunscreen. And one of the things that I noticed, because I have super oily skin, what I like to do right after that, when I'm about to do my eyebrows, I always do my eyebrows first. There have been instances where I would have done my eyebrows after I've applied my complexion products, but I feel like after doing my makeup for so many years, I realized that I had to switch back to doing my eyebrows first, because in some instances, well, in most instances, in every instance, I realized that my eyebrows look so much better when I do them first and I do my complexion products right afterwards. So grab myself a clean piece of Bounty, and this, I'm just going to use this Bounty to just take out the excess product, oil, or anything that might have gotten between my eyebrow hairs. Because I have super oily skin, and I always try to make sure the area where I'm applying the brow product doesn't have anything on it in terms of like oils or anything that might, or residue, or anything that might interrupt the application process. So I love to do that, and then right after, I go in with the spoolie section of my brow pencil and just basically brush my eyebrow here into place. So right now they look kind of crazy, but that's okay. Into place, and then that's that. So immediately after that, I'm going to go in with my Goof Proof pencil. I believe, I don't remember what shade this is. I think somebody had asked me initially what shade of pencil I normally use. I don't use anything other than dark brown, so this pencil probably, this shade probably falls in the dark brown category. I do have a new one that might be easier for me to read. So let me get out the new one that I haven't used yet. Yes, so this is number 5, which is the warm black brown. They didn't have a dark brown, they had a black brown, which is this is basically the shade that's closest to my eyebrow hair shade. So I do also have the number 5 in the kabrow gel, what is it called, a cream gel brow color with brush. It actually does have a brush on the end that looks like this, and you just turn it around, put it in the end, and then you basically have a nice little brush here. So we're not ready for this yet. The colors I'm going to be using on my brow, but this one isn't done yet, so I'm going to be using the used one for this tutorial. So let's get started. I did want to zoom in on this brow because I really want you guys to see what I'm doing. So let me just go in again one more time and brush my hair into place, and then put that back on. Make sure I have enough of the pencil screwed up, and my eyebrow shape, because I'm accustomed to it, it's not going to be that difficult for me. So I'm just going to go right here, start at the innermost portion right here where my hair actually ends, which is right there, and then just basically follow my natural arch, which is going to be just like that. That is my natural arch right there. And then I'm going to also take the pencil one more time and start from right here extremely light because I don't want that section to be too dark. I want the darkness to fall at the tip of my eyebrow, which is right here. Then I'm just going to go in real quick like this and connect both of them. Now in some instances I do actually have to go in every now and then to make sure that the arch is as perfect as possible. So I lay the pencil flat so I don't get too much of the pencil out, because I do have to go in with the cream brow gel afterwards. So I don't want it to be like too much, don't want too much to go on. So that's basically my arch. That's the shape that I love. That's the shape that I do practically every day. So we're done with the pencil for now, so I'm going to put the pencil down. Okay, next I'm going to grab the cream brow gel, which is this, and this actually comes with a brush. This is a brush right here, and some persons are okay with using it like this, but the way how Benefit made it is that you can actually just take it out, twist it around, put it in the cap like this, so that you have a longer length of pen brush basically, and you have a bit of body down here, so it makes it easier for you to just apply the gel, the cream gel. Now I have been using this for the past week, right, like this, and in some instances you can see that, yeah, I really went in on it. And that's really because in some cases I feel like I put too much on, so I would wipe it on the same bounty that I would have used to take off the excess products from my brow here before I apply the pencil, and then I would just keep going in like, oh, I take too much off, so I just have to keep like wiping it off. But it's pretty much 1 week old, or 1 week used I should say, so there's a lot of product in here still. So I'm going to go in and show you guys exactly what I do. Now what I do is that I would start right here from my edge and just basically, because this is a deep brown pencil, I like to just go in and start from the bottom and then brush my hair strokes upward, or create hair strokes, because there is a bit of negative space after I've filled in my brow. So I want to take the cream gel and just basically fill those in. I don't want it to look too overdone as well, because I still want it to look like a natural brow. Even though I'm using products to fill it in, I still want it to look as natural as possible, sorry. And then I'm just going to go in and just keep swiping it upwards so it looks like hair strokes. And then what I like to do, because I know I'm going to have a bit of negative space in this region, I like to just dip it again, and then just go in this direction to fill in that negative space right there. Right there. And then I'm going to dip it one more time, and I'm going to focus on this area right here, because I do want to fill this in and make it look like everything is cohesive and connected. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Okay, so I want to make sure that everything is cohesive and connected, so I've dipped it in one more time, and I'm just going to just start from here, because here already has enough product. I don't want to add any more here, so I'm going to start from here and just take light strokes, and because I want this to line up, we're going to focus on this area right here, and we're still going to go in and connect the cream gel with the negative spaces just like that. And you can pretty much say that we're filling. I'm not going to apply any more product. What I am going to do is go off camera and do this brow, and then I'll be back to complete this one. Now, oh, before I go off camera, let me just give you guys a quick tip, something that I'm sure most of you might be familiar with. Those of you who fill your eyebrows in on a daily basis, or fill your eyebrows in quite regularly, you would be familiar with this tip. Or if you're a beginner, or if you're somebody who's learning, this is something that is quite useful. Now, I've already filled in this eyebrow, and I do want this eyebrow on my left side to have the same amount of height and width as this one here. I don't want them to be twins, but I do want them to be sisters. So one trick that I can actually tell you guys about, something that I did when I first started doing my eyebrow, is that I would start from here, which is the bottommost portion of the one that is already filled in, and basically drag a line over here so I know that both is connected and both would have the same width. And then I just continue going over here. I go up to create my arch, and then of course I come down, and that's basically it. You don't want that line there. You could keep it for, you know, just in case, but you basically do the same thing to connect the top part or the top portion of your eyebrows. So you start from the end and you just basically do some swiping motions. I think I went down a little bit too far just now. And you just continue wiping and wiping with the pencil, just drawing a nice neat line. And then of course you have to connect them now. So you go down to connect it, and voila. Now you have both eyebrows that are on the same height, the same width. And there might be some instances where you probably might have to touch up. Like for instance, you're like, okay, then this line looks a little bit crooked, so let me just go over here and try to touch this part up. Or you might want to touch this part up, whichever one that you can look at it in the mirror and decide which eyebrow needs a little bit of touch up. And of course, right after you've connected both brows, you just take your finger or take whatever, if you don't want to use your finger, and then you just brush out those lines in between and finish the other brow. So let me just finish this brow, and then we're going to come back to this one. Okay, so I've already completed this eyebrow. It's already sculpted and it has the shape that I want it to have. This is the shape that I like. So I'm just going to run through the steps that I did on this side real quick. So the first thing, you're going to need 3 tools, or should I say 4? So you're going to need 3 tools. You're going to need a concealer that is as close as possible to your complexion. For me, that is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Spice Rum. This is the one that I use. I switch between that and the MAC Pro Longwear, but for this look I'm going to be using this one from Too Faced. You're going to need a brow pencil to apply the concealer, and you're also going to need a concealer brush to blend out the excess concealer that you're going to use around your brow when you're sculpting it. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take the concealer that's on the applicator and just rub that into the brow liner pencil that I'm using. Let me get my mirror, and I'm going to start from right here by the edge, just to make it's a small little line like that, and then I'm going to carry downwards like that, and then carry it all the way around to the tip of my brow. Now this takes a lot of precision, and you have to be like really careful with this, because if you're not careful you can cause a mess. Maybe you could possibly go up too high into the arch. If that happens, you can just apply just a little bit more of pencil or cream gel or whatever product that you're using, just to make sure that you're filling and try to fix the mistake that you made on there. So I've already created my line using my concealer, and I'm just going to take the same brow liner brush and just drag the excess concealer downwards, because I have to blend this out when I'm done. So that's it right there. Then I'm going to take the excess. In some instances I do have to go in with a little bit more of the concealer from the applicator, but it looks like I have enough on here, so I don't need to do that. So again, I'm just going to make sure that I have everything lined up. This is for persons who aren't really good in terms of making sure that everything is symmetrical. Like symmetry is one of the biggest things when it comes to your eyebrows. The shape, the width, the height, the shape, the width, the height, and the length of your eyebrows. They have to look like sisters. So I'm just going to go in and just take, actually I think I do need to add just a little bit more, so I'm just going to take the excess from the applicator part of it, well, the body of the applicator. Just take that amount, because I don't want too much to come out. And then I'm just going to start from here, just to make sure I don't have too much concealer on the brush, and then just nicely wipe. Just keep wiping. I've gotten to my arch now, so now I need to go downwards to connect both of them, just like that. And that's pretty much it in terms of connecting it. So here's where you grab your concealer brush and then you just start blending out the excess concealer that you would have applied right underneath here by your brow bone. You can actually start by wiping it just to make sure that you get the excess concealer downwards, and then once you've done that, then you start using patting motion just to make sure that you don't rub out the pencil that you would have applied. Now because I connected both of Now because I did the connecting trick, I'm just going to rub out the excess concealer that's between my brows now, and then go on the upper portion and get as close as possible to here to make sure that I rub out the excess concealer. Now doing this trick, doing this is one of the reasons why you need to get a concealer that is as close to your complexion as possible, especially if you're not that great in terms of not using the whole symmetrical the whole symmetrical thing that I just did. Using a concealer that is as close as possible to your complexion is really going to help in terms of getting everything blended. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to take the excess concealer that's on the top of my concealer brush, and then I'm just going to blend the front portion of my eyebrow so that it looks a little bit more like here. I did the same exact thing on this eyebrow, and I'm gonna start by doing it like this, and then I'm just going to go in upwards motion so that the hairs just go upwards. And in some cases I do have to go in with my spoolie once again. That's because sometimes I just move the hair and then I'm just like, okay, I need to fix it back, so I just go in and start from the bottom and just push the hair upwards so that everything just lies flat and it's nice and smooth. And I did go in over here once again, so I need to do the same thing and just brush everything into place. Now in some instances I do have to go in every now and then and maybe add a little bit more concealer. I do feel like I need a little bit more concealer just to make sure that my arch is a little bit higher, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more concealer here and apply on both my left and my right side, just because I want my arch to look a little bit more clean and a little bit higher. So I'm going to go in once again with a bit more of the concealer. I'm going to apply it right underneath my arch because I'm not really focusing on any other area except there. I think I need to go in once again with just a little bit. Make sure I have enough for both sides and apply it right here in the arch section, and then just drag it downwards just like that. It's also going to give you a little bit of a highlight underneath your brow bone and make everything just looks more symmetrical and tied in. I am going to go up a little bit into my pencil and cream gel because I feel like this brow has a little bit more body than this one over here, so I'm trying to cut some of the body by going up into my arch and then just bringing the concealer downwards to brush it. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And of course, go back in with your concealer brush and blend that baby out. That baby outwards. Yes, man. My eyebrows sculpted, shaped, concealed, blended, whatever you want to call it. They are there, they are on, so we just move on to completing the rest of our face. Here's my updated eyebrow look. I hope you guys did learn a thing or two. I'm wearing my base. I've already applied my concealers, foundation, and a bit of contour. I am going to be creating a look, so if you are interested in seeing the look that I create, then go ahead and click on the next video. Until then, bye bye.